So I want to start the program off today talking about arthritis, one of, if not the most common of all degenerative health challenges. Last week, biologists showed that by inhibiting an enzyme with genetic technology, they could actually slow down the destruction of joint cells. According to the scientists who authored the study, so-called knockout strategies that knock out this enzyme will allow drug companies to develop new inhibitor drugs to treat arthritis. Nearly 20% of Americans suffer from arthritis, which is not so much a disease as it is a sign or a symptom of general breakdown in the body. According to the Arthritis Foundation, arthritis is a generic way of referring to joint health issues. There's not one thing, one disease entity called arthritis, and this is according to the Arthritis Foundation, in addition to according to me. Arthritis is just a generic kind of phrase that refers to general joint health issues, pain and inflammation and degeneration of the joint tissue. According to the Arthritis Foundation, there's more than 100 different types of arthritis and related conditions, meaning there's over 100 different reasons why your joints break down. People of all ages and sexes and races can and do have arthritis, and arthritis is a leading cause of disability. More than 50 million adults and 300,000 children have some version of what is called arthritis. It's most common among women, and it occurs as part and parcel of the aging process. Arthritis, as most people know, is a health challenge that's marked by pain in the joints, inflammation in the joints, and what it really is the result of deterioration of the cartilage that's between the bones and joints. The stuff that makes up the cartilage is called connective tissue. So arthritis is really a breakdown in the connective tissue. And understanding arthritis as a connective tissue condition is really important when it comes to truly addressing the problem. Almost all drug strategies and medical protocols for dealing with arthritis, including using steroids and Motrin and aspirin, and even high-tech newfangled strategies like manipulating enzymes and genetic technologies, almost all of these strategies address the inflammation component, but there's nothing in the medical model's arsenal that can address the actual joint issue itself. There's nothing the doctor can do to rebuild joints, but of course that doesn't matter, because rebuilding tissue in the body is in the realm of lifestyle decisions, exercise, nutrition, making sure you're using the mighty 90 essential nutrients and making better food choices. The body's made up of 4 types of tissue, and many of the physical signs of aging that are so recognizable visually, the stooping appearance, the shrinking of stature, even osteoporosis and arthritis, are signs that connective tissue, one of the 4 types of tissue, is breaking down. In fact, pretty much all the physical signs of aging, including arthritis, are in large part connective tissue problems. A classic example of a connective tissue health challenge is the appearance of cellulite, which is a connective tissue breakdown. Under the skin, we have a layer of connective tissue, which gives the skin its firm and resilient and elastic nature. And underneath this connective tissue, you have fat, and what we call cellulite is really that fatty layer poking through broken down connective tissue. And this only happens when connective tissue is weak. This is the same cause behind hernias and also prolapsed organs. All of this is nothing more really than the manifestation of a weakened connective tissue layer, weakened connective tissue. Pretty much all degeneration associated with disease has some aspect of connective tissue deterioration. When our body ages, when we're confronted with all the aches and pains and the signs of aging and the breakdown process, what we're really looking at is the destruction, the degradation of connective tissue. There's probably a nerve component too. That's where the pain comes from. But really what you're talking about when you're talking about the aging process is a breakdown in connective tissue, which is to say that the number one most important strategy for slowing down and reversing the aging process, for keeping cellulite at bay, for keeping the skin wrinkle-free, for keeping bones strong, and for maintaining the solidity of the body's general structure, is to support the building of connective tissue, and it starts with food. It starts with staying away from inflammatory food, and that means sugar, restaurant foods, processed foods. Anything you have a hard time digesting is going to be anti-connective tissue. If you have food allergies and food intolerances, those need to be addressed as well. In addition to avoiding dietary inflammatory factors that break down connective tissue, using foods that build connective tissue can also be important. You can use bone soup, cartilage, As far as supplements go, the Z-Radical and aloe vera, vitamin C in your Beyond Tangy Tangerine is also important for helping build connective tissue. And probably the most important connective tissue building supplement in Youngevity's formulary is the glucogel caps, which are literally made with connective tissue. Glucosamine being a component of connective tissue and gelatin actually being connective tissue. This is the reason why gelatin has had such a long and traditional history of being used to help build the body, to have anti-aging benefits. In other words, the glucogel caps with the gelatin, the glucosamine contain all of the raw materials you need to form the structure of the body, the connective tissue. Make sure that you're using your glucogel caps with your Beyond Tangy Tangerine because vitamin C is important for activating the production of connective tissue. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to the Dead Doctors Don't Lie radio program. What's going on today, Douglas?
Vitamin C, that's the word here.
Love this stuff.
Yeah, I've got a story here from Natural News, headline 15 Ways Vitamin C Can Improve Your Health. They say vitamin C is one of the most popular dietary supplements. It can, for your heart, skin, blood vessels, and more. And the 15 benefits of vitamin C: it's rich in antioxidants, which protect the body from free radicals that can cause oxidative stress, helps relax blood vessels. Blood vessels aren't able to dilate enough to allow good blood flow. It can lead to heart attacks and stroke, lowers bad cholesterol, reduces bad cholesterol in the blood, treats the common cold, reduces and eliminates symptoms of a cold, improves skin health, improves skin elasticity, and eliminates saggy skin and wrinkles, lowers blood pressure, reverses the effects of stress. Vitamin C can have great benefits to your brain and nervous system, helps regulate blood sugar levels. It can regulate blood sugar levels and reduce diabetes complications, reduces risk of cancer. Some studies have shown that vitamin C reduces the risk of pancreatic cancer. Other studies have shown that it reduces the risk of mouth, throat, colon, and stomach cancer, reduces asthma symptoms. It has an antioxidant and antihistamine properties that will improve lung and airway function, helps wounds heal faster, lowers leads to lowers lead levels in the blood, prevents loss of breath. It can eliminate shortness of breath, wheezing and coughs, reduces arthritis symptoms, eliminates swelling, inflammation, and joint pain in people with arthritis, increases energy. And they say the best sources of vitamin C: grapefruit, oranges, kale, red peppers, broccoli, guava, Brussels sprouts, and strawberries.
And chili peppers.
That's true, yeah.
As a matter of fact, chili peppers are probably the best source of vitamin C. Papaya.
Yeah, I've heard that jalapeno peppers also
peppers, yep. And also papaya, kiwi, cantaloupe. It's pretty ubiquitous. It's interesting. Do you know, you probably know this, but maybe some of our listeners don't. Only a few animals don't make vitamin C naturally. All animals make their own vitamin C.
I know dogs do.
Dogs do, cats do, sheep do. And I remember reading about the Ebola virus when it came out. Remember all the news about Ebola a couple of years ago? Was it 2 years ago or so? Everybody was freaking out about the Ebola virus. As it turns out, there's only 4 animals that get the Ebola virus.
Really?
Your dog. They never told you about inoculating your dog for the Ebola virus, or cattle, or sheep, or anything like that. You know why? It's really interesting. The only 4 animals that get Ebola virus are humans and some primates like gorillas, guinea pigs, and the fruit bat. Fruit bat, guinea pigs, certain primates, and humans are the only 4 animals that don't get that had to worry about the Ebola virus. And interestingly, these are the only 4 animals that don't make their own vitamin C. How interesting is that? Now, I don't know necessarily that vitamin C naturally made cures the Ebola virus, but certainly you can make that argument considering the only animals that get Ebola are the animals that don't make their own vitamin C.
Well, since vitamin C is so instrumental in your immune system, is it possible that people that have low levels of vitamin C are more susceptible because they have depressed immune system?
How often do we not think about something as simple as vitamin C when we're getting frequent colds, or we're getting the cold sore virus, or we're getting any kind of infection that occurs regularly? Sometimes we just don't notice the real simple things, and vitamin C is so in the news, and it's so common, and it's pretty much all nutritional supplements, we don't ever think that maybe we need to be getting some more vitamin C. And by the way, a couple more things I want to add about skin health and vitamin C. Vitamin C is protective against the sun, and that's topically applied vitamin C as well as taking vitamin C internally. So you don't have to deal with nasty sunscreens if you use enough nutrients. not only vitamin C, vitamin E also is important for sun protection, as are plant pigments, but certainly vitamin C plays a major role in protecting the skin from the sun. And also, fascinatingly, vitamin C helps the skin make its own natural moisture factors. So vitamin C also can help you if you're dealing with dry skin. I absolutely love this stuff. I mean, it stands head and shoulders above all other vitamins, in my opinion. In fact, above all other essential nutrients when it comes to its multifunctionality in balance with its complete non-toxicity. You can actually inject this stuff right in your blood, and IV vitamin C has been used to treat cancer somewhat successfully, I might add, and it's also a general intravenous health tonic. So if you're interested in using vitamin C, you can get it in supplements, you can get it in food, you can also get it intravenously. From Dr. Michael Ristow, writing in, this is from ETH Zurich. Not sure what that is, published in the journal Nature Communications. Glucosamine, that's the glucogel caps for you guys who don't know, the glucogel caps with glucosamine and gelatin. Glucosamine promotes longevity by mimicking a low-carb diet. How cool is that? Not only does glucosamine help support joint health, help support blood vessel health, help prevent wrinkles, and help prevent cellulite, but not only does glucosamine help patch up the digestive tract if you're dealing with leaky gut syndrome, but now, as it turns out, glucosamine can actually, at least according to this article, improve sugar metabolism, and it does so, according to Michael Ristow, Dr. Michael Ristow, by mimicking a low-carb diet in elderly mice. Interesting. Glucosamine's been around for a long time as an arthritis supplement, but it turns out that glucosamine now is important, at least according to this article, for helping you deal with blood sugar issues, messed up blood sugar if you're dealing with diabetes or prediabetes, and 100 million Americans are. Also, according to Dr. Ristow, glucosamine, according to this article, is known to delay cancer growth, and it reduces the metabolism of so-called nutritive sugars. It slows down carbohydrate metabolism, and that could be helpful for anybody who's dealing with diabetes or messed up blood sugar issues. Of course, glucosamine isn't the only thing you need if you're dealing with diabetes, the quintessential eating disease. I get so many letters about type 2 diabetes, so many letters from people who just can't get their blood sugar under control. Listen, there's only 2 reasons why your blood sugar spikes. Actually, let's say 3 reasons why your blood sugar spikes. Number 1, the wrong food. Number 2, the stress hormone cortisol. And number 3, nutritional deficiencies. Number 1, too much sugar in the diet. Well, that's easy to control. Just stop eating the carbs, the bread and the pasta and the rice and the potatoes. Yeah, you need some carbohydrate, but you don't eat a lot, and you want most of the carbohydrate that comes into your body or that you ingest to come in the form of vegetables, not fruits, but vegetables. And certainly you want to avoid gluten-containing flours and grains and cereals and breads and pastas. Even rice and potatoes can spike your blood sugar. You know what? Even protein can spike your blood sugar. If you're trying to go paleo and you're trying to get yourself off of carbs by eating lots and lots of protein, you got to be careful, because protein can get converted into sugar pretty easily, especially if you're low carb. If you're low carb but high protein and you're not working out, you're not exercising, or you're not perhaps recovering from an injury or recovering from surgery, that protein is readily going to get turned into carbohydrate and will spike your blood sugar. So point number 1, if you're dealing with high blood sugar and you want to lower it, is you got to watch out what you eat. Be very, very careful with the fast-burning carbohydrates, and also be careful with the protein. Secondly, make sure you're relaxing the body. Elevated stress hormone, that is cortisol, from psychological or mental or emotional stresses that can elevate your blood sugar. And cortisol, or stress hormone from inflammation, can also elevate blood sugar if you're dealing with a degenerative disease or autoimmune disease or cancer. All of those can conspire to elevate blood sugar. And then third, nutritional deficiencies, particularly in the B vitamins. Where do you get your B vitamins? Your Beyond Tangy Tangerine, especially vitamins B1 and B3. Niacin, the ultimate niacin, vitamin B3, is a stupendously valuable anti-sugar nutrient, as of course is the sweeties, chromium and vanadium. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. Got a quick break to take, and we're coming back with your phone. Who's first in line, Doug?
All right, let's head to Los Angeles, California. And Brenda, you're on with Pharmacist Ben Fuchs.
Hey, Brenda.
Hey, thank you for taking my call.
Well, thank you for calling us. How are you doing? What's going
Great.
on?
I've been trying to get through. I have 3 quick questions and then my main question.
Yeah?
My mother is allergic to sulfur. She had a bad reaction from a persistent drug. Is there any particular supplement that she shouldn't take?
No, she's not allergic to sulfur. She's allergic to sulfa. And that's different. Sulfa. It ends with an A as opposed to sulfur. It's very easy to confuse those two words. Sulfa, S-U-L-F-A, is a drug. Sulfur, S-U-L-F-U-R, sulfur, I think that's how you spell it. That's a mineral, and that's essential, and you need that stuff. You would fall apart without sulfur. You couldn't make fingernails, you couldn't make bone, you couldn't make collagen, you couldn't make hair without sulfur. So sulfur is an essential nutrient. Sulfa is a non-essential drug. In fact, sulfa is a drug you probably want to stay away from, unless you have an infection, because it's an antibiotic, of course. But sulfa-containing drugs are definitely something you want to be very careful of. Hang on just a second here, ma'am. Douglas, will you take over? I got something going on.
Yeah, go ahead and outline some of the symptoms that she's got, Brenda.
Well, she was itching all over. She felt like she was burning in her body. And so that's what the doctor said. It was allergic to sulfur drugs.
So she's allergic to sulfa drugs?
Yes.
And now you had outlined when I spoke to you earlier, you had some other questions regarding high blood pressure, diabetes, and obesity. Is that in yourself or is that in someone else?
That's in me.
Okay.
That's in me. And then the other little short question I had was my sister. She has vitiligo and she cannot take MSM.
Douglas?
So,
Hey, Doug? Okay. So I'm sorry about that. I had a little smoke attack here in the studio, so I apologize for that. Ma'am, Brenda, are you there?
well, we don't want you to burn up.
No, I know. It was just something bad little bad cooking habit I got. That's a long story. Anyway, so I heard you mention vitiligo. Is that something that you were dealing with as well?
My sister has vitiligo, and she can't take anything with MSM in it. And
Okay, well, that's not necessarily true. I'm not sure how she knows that. MSM is about as gentle and benign as any nutritional supplement can be. And I've been doing this 32 years. I've never heard of anything like that. So I'm not sure where she got that information from, but it's next to impossible to have an issue with MSM. So that aside, if she has vitiligo, she probably does have some digestive health issues. Vitiligo is a very interesting health challenge for the listeners. Vitiligo is an autoimmune disease that affects pigment-making cells. And these pigment-making cells produce a compound called melanin. When these pigment-making cells are attacked by the immune system, no more melatonin, you end up with these white patches. So what you want to do for vitiligo is you want to address digestive health challenges. And this is true about all autoimmune diseases. Like all diseases, really, but especially autoimmune ones, you've got to focus on digestive health. When we don't digest our food appropriately, eventually little chunks of food, microscopic as they may be, enter into the bloodstream, and this initiates an immune system attack. So most vitiligo patients and most autoimmune patients will benefit from digestive health strategies. Number 1, eliminating problem foods, and number 2, using probiotics, the nightly essence from Youngevity, Fucoid Z. Anything you do to support digestive health will help you with any kind of immune condition, particularly autoimmunity. And then there's an interesting topical strategy that some folks are getting benefits from involving a cream or an active ingredient that's found in a cream called pseudocatalase. Have you ever heard of this? Pseudocatalase? It's spelled P-S-E-U-D-O, pseudocatalase, C-A-T-A-L-A-S-E. And pseudocatalase in combination with sun or with a sun lamp can help repigment the skin too. Superficially, topically, you'll still have the autoimmune issues, and you still got to work on the digestive health condition, but you may get some cosmetic benefits. And thanks for your call, Brenda. Hope we helped you out. We're going to take a break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Going back to Brenda in Los Angeles. We'll finish up. What's going on, Brenda? Anything else you want to ask?
We lost Brenda.
We lost Brenda. Okay. And who's next?
We're going to head on to Peter.
Hey, Peter. Greetings, Peter. Peter. No Peter? Hello?
Hold on just a second.
Okay, I can hold.
In San Diego area. And I've got a couple of questions for some of my preferred customers. The first one I'd like to start off with has what's called the plaque-hardened aortic valve and also Barrett's esophagus, of which I am not familiar with at all.
Let's talk about both of those. First of all, plaque in the arteries. A couple of strategies for you. First thing I would do is chelation therapy. I'd go to a naturopath or a chiropractor or somebody or an MD, a DO, who can do chelation therapy. Chelation therapy is when they inject something called EDTA into your blood, and it magnetically attracts heavy metals and minerals and things that deposit inside the arteries that cause the plaques. Secondly, you want to go ketogenic, low carbohydrate. That's a very important strategy for any cardiovascular health issues. And you can also use oral chelating agents, including selenium and vitamin C. Very powerful for chelation. Also algae and fucoidin. I love our Fucoid Z for chelation purposes. And then also, if you're going to go cardiovascular, you want to make sure that you're using your healthy heart and brain and heart pack, which will get you your Mighty 90 essential nutrients. And I would also add in the Ultimate Niacin. Ultimate Niacin is very interesting. Not only is it helpful for blood sugar control, but niacin is like a natural statin drug that will lower the production of cholesterol and lower the production of excessive blood fats. It's very important for keeping blood clean. Ultimate EFAs, which you find in the Healthy Start Pack, will also have a beneficial effect. And then you want to throw a couple other things in there in addition to the Fucoid Z and the selenium and the Ultimate Niacin. I would also use probiotics, the Nightly Essence bacteria. The probiotic bacteria not only have a chelating property, but they'll also help your body process fats and fatty vitamins for that matter as well. One more thing, the Ultimate Enzymes with pancreatin, those might be helpful too. Ultimate Enzymes not only will help you digest your food, but they also have wonderful blood thinning properties. And speaking of enzymes, you'll get nattokinase in the Nightly Essence. Nattokinase and other digestive enzymes in the Nightly Essence will help thin the blood as well as help you digest your food. That's one of the reasons I love the Nightly Essence. In addition to being a great source of bacteria, the Nightly Essence also has digestive enzymes, including nattokinase, which is very helpful for thinning the blood and cleaning the blood, if you will. Second question about Barrett's esophagus, really serious health challenge. It has to do with acid burning the esophagus with long-term acid splashback, so-called heartburn. Always want to consider heartburn to be a digestive health issue. First of all, you want to link heartburn symptoms to specific foods and then eliminate those foods. Gluten can certainly be a problem. Pretty much any refined flour and carbohydrate can be a problem. Some people have a problem with certain fruits. You also want to make sure you're using probiotics or good bacteria, the Nightly Essence, and fermented foods if you're dealing with heartburn, long-term heartburn, or as it's called, GERD, G-E-R-D, gastroesophageal reflux disease. Barrett's esophagus occurs when GERD has been going on for years and even decades, and it can be a precursor to esophageal cancer. So you want to be very, very careful about Barrett's esophagus and treat it seriously. Anything else, my friend?
Yes, and thank you for that. Also, I have a friend that has the atrial fib, has already had one oblation, and I just don't know what to say.
Okay.
Or what could you say?
I'll tell you what you could do.
Individual.
I'll tell you what you could do. Atrial fibrillation is a sign of a body in distress. That's basically what you're dealing with, is a heart that's freaked out. The medical strategy for dealing with this condition, atrial fibrillation specifically, is when the heart goes out of rhythm. But it's a sign of bodily distress. It's an emergency. It's a sign that the body is in an emergency mode. It's in a survival mode. The so-called sympathetic nervous system has been activated. The strategy for dealing with AFib is to calm the body down, first and foremost with oxygen, making sure you're practicing slow, deep breathing as often as you can. If you're in AFib, you want to be paying very close attention to oxygenation. Shortness of breath will lead to fibrillation. Making sure you're oxygenating intentionally a couple times a day, 3 times a day, sitting on the couch, practicing slow, deep breathing. I know we talk about this almost every day on my radio program and on this program as well. When I guest host, it's so important, you guys. Under conditions of a lack of oxygen, cortisol, stress hormone will be secreted, and you'll be at higher risk for all kinds of health issues, including AFib. So practicing slow, deep breathing is very, very important. Secondly, making sure you're keeping blood sugar under control. AFib and other circulatory issues, health issues, are a sign that the blood sugar is messed up. In fact, this is all part of something called metabolic syndrome. You may have heard of that term, which involves a lot of symptoms, but especially involves cardiovascular or heart health symptoms, keeping blood sugar under control using things like the Sweeties and the Ultimate Niacin and the Beyond Tangy Tangerine and the Fucoid Z, and Ultimate Selenium, all very important for helping stabilize blood sugar. Of course, keeping your sugar intake down is also going to be important. And then third of all, if there's any digestive health issues, those need to be corrected as well. AFib needs to be treated as a sign that the body is in distress. If you want some specific cardiovascular health nutrients, nothing beats the B vitamins. Vitamin C is also important, as are the Ultimate EFAs. You will get all of those nutrients, and magnesium for that matter is also important. And you'll get all of those nutrients in the Healthy Start Pack, the Beyond OsteoFX, Beyond Tangy Tangerine, and of course your Ultimate EFAs. All right. Thanks so much for your call. Appreciate it. Hope we helped you out. And let's see if we can squeeze one more call in before our break, Doug.
Yeah, I did want to mention to Peter, though, that Dr. Wallach often recommends that AFib can also be caused by a pinching of a nerve, the nerve that controls the electrical pulse that goes to make the heart beat, and that he often will recommend then the glucogel, because that's being pinched because the vertebrae has the bones, the vertebrae are squishing together and pinching nerves. So
thank you for that,
that's
Doug.
another
Good
thing
point.
you might want to try as well. And let's head on to Charlotte, North Carolina. And Richard, you're on with Pharmacist Ben Fuchs.
Yes.
Hey,
Hello?
what's going on, Richard?
Yeah, I'm a dialysis patient.
Okay.
And about a year now, and I've been taking some of the longevity products, but I'm trying to get my creatinine down and my phosphorus down. And then
What was the first thing you're trying to get down? I'm sorry, what was the first thing you said?
Creatinine.
Oh, your creatinine. Okay. All right. These are all signs that your kidneys aren't functioning. Creatinine and phosphorus are a sign that your kidneys aren't functioning. So you're not trying to get your creatinine down and your phosphorus down. Those are markers of kidney disease. You're trying to fix your kidneys is what you're trying to do. And then creatinine will take care of itself and phosphorus will take care of itself. So we got to focus on the kidneys. And by the way, you're in very good company with kidney disease, because lots of people have it and lots of people are on dialysis. So what you want to do is, if you're going to take care of the kidneys, we've got to understand what the kidneys do. They filter the blood. And this is so important, because if you want to know the number one main cause of all chronic degenerative diseases, it's in the blood. The secret is in the blood. I call it dirty blood. And this is the number one common factor that underlies all health challenges, whether you're talking kidney disease or autoimmune disease or, God forbid, cancer or heart disease or whatever it is. You've got dirty blood. So we got to clean the blood. Now, kidney disease, it just makes perfect sense that the blood would be dirty, because the kidneys are strainers for the blood. They filter the blood. Over the course of time, as the blood becomes thick and sludgy and dirty, the kidneys get clogged up, and this is where kidney disease begins. So what you want to do is you want to clean the blood. The question then becomes how does the blood get dirty? Well, the most important way it gets dirty is from food. So you want to treat dirty blood and kidney disease primarily as a food issue. And Richard, I'm guaranteeing you that you've had food problems for a long time. You sound like you're in your 50s or so probably you've had food problems for 40 or 50 years. Hang on, Richard. We're going to finish up when we come back from our break. I think this is a very important subject for you as well as for many of our listeners. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to the Dead Doctors Don't Lie radio program. We'll take a quick break and come back with Richard and more of your phone calls. All right, we're back on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program, talking to Richard about kidney disease and dialysis. Richard, are you there, my friend?
Still there.
Okay, good deal. Here's what you need to do, and anybody listening who's dealing with kidney disease, and by the time you're on dialysis, by the way, that means the kidneys have been breaking down for a long time, because you don't need to be on dialysis until you're at under 20% kidney function. Up until then, you can make do, and that's because the kidneys are so darn vital to the body that there's lots of extra capacity. It can withstand a lot of damage before you need to go on artificial kidneys, which is what dialysis is. So first things first, clean the blood. Look for digestive health issues. You probably have had some for a long time. Gluten is certainly going to be involved, but there's lots of things that could be involved. Once the digestive lining breaks down, toxins get into the blood. We're off to the disease races. This causes the blood to coagulate, get clogged up, and exacerbates sticky blood, or dirty blood as I call it. So keeping problem foods at bay, avoiding problem foods. And by the way, sugar counts as a blood toxin. So making sure you're going low carb and low sugar. And that includes also low protein if you are not working out or exercising. I don't want to say low protein. Just be careful with the amount of protein that you eat, because as we said earlier, protein can get turned into sugar. So you gotta be careful there. Making sure that you're using sugar metabolizing nutrients, sweeties, and the B vitamins, which you'll find in the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, as well as the Ultimate Niacin and Ultimate Selenium, all can help you process your sugar. Making sure you're using good digestive health supplements, including probiotics. The Nightly Essence is my all-time favorite probiotic. The Ultimate Enzymes, not only, as we said earlier, can help you digest your food, but also have a blood cleansing and blood thinning property. Nattokinase in particular, which is in the Nightly Essence. And speaking of blood thinning, the Fucoid Z has blood thinning and overall blood tonic properties. It's like an overall blood tonic. The Fucoid Z, making sure you're using 9 capsules a day, and the Healthy Start Pack. That goes without saying. Make sure you're using your Healthy Start Pack. Last but not least, the main role, or one of the main roles of blood, is to oxygenate cells. And once the blood becomes sticky and sludgy, and chances are pretty good your blood is pretty sticky and sludgy if you're on dialysis, you're going to have issues oxygenating your cells. And that can cause problems downstream. In fact, all health challenges can be due to poor oxygenation of cells. So making sure you're practicing your slow, deep, rhythmic breathing. Everybody benefits from slow, deep, rhythmic breathing, but particularly if you're dealing with blood health issues. All right, got time for one more call here. Who's next in the line, Doug? All
right, let's head to Texas. And Lawrence, you're on with Pharmacist Ben Fuchs.
Hey, Lauren.
Yes, I've got some products that I got for my preferred customer, and I want to know how for her to take them. She saw on the bottle, just for instant de-stress, it said the serving size is 4. Now, we were told to take 3 twice a day per 100 pounds of body weight.
This is on the de-stress?
Yes.
Okay, so
that's
3?
On the de-stress bottle. We just got all the products in.
So I'm having a hard time understanding. You want to know the dose what kind of dose on the de-stress?
Right.
Well, you could take 3 per 100 pounds of body weight. That'd be anywhere from 3 to 6 a day for most people. That'd be just fine. I mean, you can't really overdose on it. I prefer people take a little bit more than a little bit less. If you can't overdose on it, you can't overdose on the de-stress. That's a really neat supplement, by the way. What else do you have? We only got about a minute left.
Okay, I'll just name these here. So that'll work with the Ultimate Niacin Plus. I know it's only 60 in the pack with it, so I'm assuming you can take 1 to 2 of these also.
On the Ultimate Niacin?
Uh-huh.
You could take 1 or 2. 1 a day should be fine on the Ultimate Niacin. That's a really neat supplement, by the way, for brain health, for blood health, for liver health, for blood sugar as well. You'll get a little bit of. You're not going to get you don't get any of the niacin in the de-stress, right? There's no niacin in that one. Are you there, sir?
And then I had Ultimate Daily in the HGH, and of course selenium.
Ultimate Daily, 1 or 2 a day. Ultimate Daily, 1 or 2 a day. The HGH doesn't really matter. You can take as much of that as you want. That's not an essential nutrient. And then on the selenium, I like about 400 to 600 micrograms a day. That's 4 to 6 capsules a day. Although I got to tell you, Dr. Wallach takes more than that. So you could probably take more. But I like right around 400 to 600 micrograms of the Ultimate Selenium a day. Thanks for your call. Appreciate it. And that is all the time we have for today on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie radio program. I'm Pharmacist Ben. It's been a pleasure to sit in for Dr. Wallach. For all the folks at the ZBS Radio Network, including Doug Winfrey and Michael Z and Dr. Wallach and myself, have yourselves a wonderful, beautiful, spectacular day, folks. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye.